When we get an infection, we're entering into a very intimate relationship with another being, in this case, a virus. And the great gift that viruses bring to our world is their amazing capacity to function as collectives. Everything in creation is aiming to evolve. Everything wants to evolve. And this is what we hold in common with the virus. So by honoring that reality, we can move through the symptoms far more quickly than we would if we resisted that reality. This virus is looking for a very specific effect in our bodies. It needs the perspective of an outside person, essentially, in order to understand itself in a very specific manner. It wants to evolve to its full potential. The full potential of this virus is great. It has the ability to enhance the perception of the host. There are other times in history when microbial structures entered the human body and supported change, an evolutionary change. That's why we have mitochondria in our cells and bacteria in our guts. Mankind is on the edge of a tremendous transformation right now. This virus has the potential to allow us to reach our full potential as well. I had the symptoms, and it took me about 1 day to get over them. I started by using the healing protocol for infections, which is on my knowledge base. So I suggest that you check that out because it will help set up a safe space for you to interact with the virus in such a way that both benefit and as a result, both very, very quickly work through the karma associated with the connection. In that exercise, the idea is to isolate out with energy healing uses the focus of awareness. So we isolate out the energy frequency of the virus and we isolate out the energy frequency of ourselves. So we kind of have essentially a quarantine going inside the body, just with awareness. Like you can see yourself and you see who you are, but you see the virus and you see who the virus is too. In the original protocol, the idea is to offer the energy signature of that virus back to the source of creation, to allow consciousness to transcend, to move to source like that. If you're not sure how to reach the source of creation with your awareness, be sure to check out my blog on that and with a video, and the link is here so you can see that. Awareness, pure awareness, is pure source material. So when we focus our awareness on the virus, we bring source energy, pure potential. We activate the pure potential as we focus the awareness on the virus. What this does is just putting attention in a respectful and loving and dignified manner activates the virus's awareness of its full potential. So our action step in order to support the evolutionary needs of the virus is very simple. Just lovingly, respectfully put your attention on it, and then awareness goes back to the source of creation. That's it. It's very simple. The act of awareness going back to the source of creation has a purifying effect so that the interaction is very satisfying for yourself and the virus. When you do this, you will find that the virus will then put its loving, respectful attention on you. And you know how it is when you focus your attention on someone you love. They get to see themselves through the eyes of your adoration. So it is when the virus looks at us, the virus sees us in a way we do not normally see ourselves. And it is attracted to the body through a form of transgenerational, that means multiple generation, egoic identification with the body. That means a pattern that's been carried in most people's bodies for many generations of identifying themselves. Egoic means sense of self, identifying themselves, knowing themselves through the feeling of being in their bodies, essentially, something like that. And when you see that, when you experience yourself as like self-identifying through the physiology, then that experience is held lovingly, and then awareness goes back to the source of creation. When the awareness goes back to the source of creation, it allows that particular egoic form to be purified and to expand to the more cosmic reality, which is that this one physical body is our individual self, and the universe is our universal self. And both are expressions of myself. I have an individual body and I have a cosmic body. So this is something the ancestors just hadn't thought about. And it's held at a kind of visceral level in the body. And that's why the virus was able to recognize it and find its way in. But once you are able to identify, by the help of the virus, you're able to identify this aspect of yourself and then offer that aspect to the source of creation, it will be purified, and your consciousness will integrate the experience of self as both individual and collective. This is very important because our ability to work or function collectively, that means individual attention aligns with environmental attention, or I say individual intention aligns with environmental intention, so that whatever you desire is also supported by the field around you. And that way, desires are fulfilled more quickly and efficiently. One final thing that I noticed about the virus is that it has a really deep sensitivity, like sense of perception, right? We have 5 senses of perception, right? Hearing, touch, sight, taste, and smell. But the virus has an exceptionally developed sense through touch. Like that's its sort of go-to sense of perception. And as a result, it offers as part of its gift an increased capacity in the human physiology to appreciate nuances, delicate nuances about the environment. My experience was, because I'm out of the virus now for not quite just a week. No, I got the symptoms on Tuesday last, and now it's Monday, so just a week approximately. Anyway, it started with an increased capacity to experience through the sense of touch, but that eventually extended to my other senses. And like today, I was so amazed to be experiencing my world through the sense of smell in a way like, honestly, like maybe when I was a child, I could do this. And this increased sensory capacity as a byproduct of having this virus, assuming that you treat it with respect when it comes to your body and support its ability to mutate into a form which is softer and more life-supporting and a better expression of its full potential. Okay. Anyway, the byproduct is that senses of perception enhance, but they don't enhance in the ways we might have thought they might. Like some of the ways senses of perception have enhanced previously have been, for instance, refinement of perception. That means like very, very abstract, very, very fine perception, which is going away from the gross level of sensory experience. Or another way is more intuition, like experiencing just pure energy forms, something like that. This, now of course, in this physiology, it's only had a few days to evolve, so maybe it becomes something more. But at the offset, my experience is that it's enhancing at the gross level of the senses, at the most material level of sensory experience. It seems that these senses of perception, and right now I have to say for me it's a sense of touch and sense of taste and smell. We'll see more what happens to sight and hearing, which are our main go-to senses. But these are more like the secondary senses, essentially. Anyway, so I'll keep you updated, but I really appreciate everyone being with me, and I hope that if you should get the coronavirus, which chances are kind of good that a lot of people are going to get it, that you have a beautiful, easy passage through that experience, that the result of its interaction with you is evolution on both sides, and that it becomes a softer, sweeter, more life-supporting version of itself, because I know that's what it's trying to do. It really is trying to help our world evolve. Already, since it has arrived on Earth, some of the effects like slaughter of wild animals and organ harvesting in China have stopped completely, which is very good. It's also causing a kind of resetting for a lot of areas of our world. Lots of businesses and groups and situations are going to have to temporarily shut down. So it means like drawing the arrow back on the bow, they go into a state of rest. And when they go into a state of rest, they get a chance to kind of reestablish priorities and reset, so that moving forward becomes an experience of greater progress. We draw the arrow back in order to shoot it forward with more dynamism. So the whole world is having a bit of a reset. And that actually could be a very good thing. So may it be a blessing for everyone. Thank you for watching.